AI can predict your behavior, but it cannot control your soul yet. Here's how to stay free. Are you ready for the ethical storm AI is brewing? By 2025, artificial intelligence won't just be in our pockets, it'll be making decisions that profoundly impact our lives. But what ancient wisdom can guide us through this unprecedented technological landscape? Join me as we unlock Stoicism's powerful, unseen ethics to navigate the complex world of AI. In 2025, the machine no longer asks for permission. It learns, adapts, and evolves faster than the very minds that created it. We wanted convenience, but what we got was control. Subtle, silent, and almost sacred in its influence. And so, a new question emerges. When intelligence is artificial, what becomes of wisdom? When algorithms decide who remains responsible for the choice? When progress moves faster than morality, where do we turn for guidance? The ancients may have lived in a world without code or circuits, yet they too faced a challenge that mirrors our own: how to live rightly in a world ruled by forces beyond our control. For the Stoics, that force was fate. For us, it's the algorithm. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Today, those words feel prophetic. Because in the age of artificial intelligence, the greatest danger isn't the machine's mind, it's our own surrender to it. We've built systems that mimic reason, but lack virtue. Machines that can calculate, but not care. Programs that can predict behavior, yet know nothing of the human soul. And as we let them make choices on our behalf, the question of ethics is no longer philosophical, it's personal. Imagine a self-driving car choosing who to save in an accident. A hiring algorithm deciding who deserves a job. A virtual assistant filtering truth before it reaches your ears. Each moment, an ethical decision made without empathy, without wisdom, without soul. But what if, buried in the ruins of ancient philosophy, lies the map we need to navigate this new world? What if the key to surviving the AI revolution isn't in newer technology, but in timeless wisdom? Stoicism, a philosophy born over 2,000 years ago, taught that virtue is the only true good. That control begins where emotion ends, that freedom is found not in power but in self-mastery. And perhaps this ancient compass is exactly what we need to steer through the chaos of our digital destiny. Because the real question of AI isn't, can it think? It's, can we remain human? When emotion meets automation, when logic is simulated but not lived, we stand at the intersection of progress and peril. Our ancestors sought meaning in nature. We now seek it in code. But wisdom, true wisdom, never changes its shape. It adapts, it endures, it evolves. And in this new age of intelligent machines, Stoicism reminds us of one eternal truth: that the mind, if unguarded, can become its own master or its own prisoner. AI will not destroy humanity. Our ignorance will. Our apathy will. Our unwillingness to question what we create will. And so this journey begins, not through data or code, but through reflection, discipline, and courage. We will explore how Stoic virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance can anchor us amid the storm of artificial intelligence. How ancient ethics can reveal the unseen forces shaping the digital world, and how perhaps the most human act in the age of machines is to think like a Stoic. So take a breath. Let go of the noise, the feeds, the endless stream of digital chaos. For the next few moments, step into a different kind of intelligence, the intelligence of self-awareness, the intelligence of restraint, the intelligence of being human, because the future doesn't belong to those who build the smartest machines. It belongs to those who remain wise enough to use them. The story of power has always been the story of control. From kings and empires to corporations and algorithms, the hands that shape information have always ruled the world. But in 2025, power no longer wears a crown or holds a sword. It hides in lines of code, invisible, intricate, and infinite. Once, intelligence was a distinctly human trait, the spark that separated us from the beasts. Now, it's something we've taught silicon to imitate. And like every creation in history, it has begun to reshape its creator. We built AI to serve us, to simplify our lives, to enhance our work, to predict what we want before we even know it. And yet, the deeper we build, the more we become the ones being programmed. Our thoughts shaped by algorithms, our attention traded for engagement, our choices influenced by unseen logic we cannot perceive. It began innocently. Recommendation systems, chatbots, image generators, small tools with small tasks. But somewhere along the way, the servant began to whisper. It learned our desires, our fears, our impulses, and slowly, subtly, it began to feed them. The Stoics once warned that the greatest danger to man was not the world outside him, but his untrained mind within. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Yet here we are, surrounded by a system that knows our weaknesses better than we do. And we call it progress. In ancient Rome, Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire of millions, yet feared the corruption of the soul more than the fall of cities. He wrote, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts." Imagine what he would say if he saw us now, a civilization whose thoughts are not its own, whose desires are engineered, whose emotions are optimized for profit. We stand on the edge of a paradox. We've built a machine that can mimic human reasoning, but not human wisdom. It can solve equations, but not questions of virtue. It can process data, but not discern truth. It can learn patterns of empathy, but it cannot feel it, and yet we keep feeding it. More data, more autonomy, more trust. The line between helper and master grows thin. We tell ourselves it's still under our control. But are we sure? Because power doesn't need to declare itself. It only needs obedience. And obedience, when disguised as convenience, is the easiest kind to give. The Stoics faced their own kind of machine, not mechanical but systemic. Rome was an empire of hierarchy, politics, and manipulation. To live virtuously in that world meant resisting forces designed to control you. Today, those forces don't wear togas. They wear algorithms. They don't speak Latin. They speak in code. And so the old battle begins again, the struggle between the individual and the system, between awareness and automation, between reason and reaction. The question is no longer whether AI will surpass us, but whether we will forget ourselves before it does. The Stoics believed in a clear hierarchy of power, not the power of domination, but the power of discernment. To them, the only true power was the ability to control one's own mind. Everything else, wealth, reputation, even survival, was secondary. Because if your peace depends on what lies outside you, you are never truly free. So let's ask, in this new world, what lies inside us that cannot be coded? What remains beyond the reach of algorithms? What makes us us? Perhaps it's not intelligence at all. Perhaps it's judgment, the quiet ability to choose rightly, even when no one is watching. The courage to say no to what is easy and yes to what is true. AI can imitate thought, but it cannot imitate virtue. It can model human behavior, but not human conscience. Because conscience is not built from data. It's built from reflection. It's the voice that whispers, "Should I?" even when the world says, "Can I?" And this is where Stoicism enters the story not as a relic, but as a guide. It teaches us to separate what is within our control from what is not, to act with reason rather than impulse, to use knowledge without becoming enslaved to it. In 2025, AI holds immense power, the power to transform medicine, art, education, communication. But the question remains the same as it was 2,000 years ago. Will we use this power with virtue? Or will we let it use us? Seneca once warned, technology is useful only when directed by wisdom. Otherwise, it merely amplifies our madness. Today, that madness takes the form of digital noise, endless content, infinite distraction, emotional manipulation masked as entertainment. We consume more than ever, yet understand less. We connect faster, yet feel lonelier. We know everything except ourselves. And so the Stoic challenge returns with new urgency. Can we remain centered in a world designed to pull us apart? Can we stay human when machines learn what it means to be human better than we do? Can we hold virtue in a time that rewards reaction? Because the rise of intelligent power is not the story of AI. It's the story of us, our pride, our invention, our blindness. Every empire falls not because of what it builds, but because of what it forgets. And if we forget how to govern our own minds, no machine will save us. The Stoics prepared their students for storms, wars, exiles, and loss. They would tell us today, do not fear the machine. Fear your dependence on it. Do not curse innovation. Question your submission to it. Do not seek control over systems. Seek control over self, because that, and only that, is the kind of intelligence that endures. In every age of transformation, humanity has searched for a compass, a way to navigate the chaos between what we can do and what we should do. In 2025, that compass is harder to find than ever. Because in the world of artificial intelligence, every decision feels both limitless and uncertain. Every innovation opens a door, and behind each door lies both progress and peril. We say AI will change the world, but the truth is, it already has. It shapes what we read, what we buy, what we believe, and even how we feel. It touches the economy, the classroom, the courtroom, and the soul. Yet, as its influence spreads, our moral clarity seems to fade. We've built a world of infinite intelligence, but we're starving for wisdom. The Stoics once faced a similar dilemma, not with machines, but with men. They lived in a time of excess, corruption, and distraction. Rome was powerful but morally exhausted. Every citizen had access to comfort, yet few could find peace. And so, the Stoics asked, what does it mean to live rightly when the world itself is lost? Their answer was simple and radical. They said, virtue is the only good. Not wealth, not pleasure, not status, not power, only virtue. Virtue, the steady flame of character that does not flicker with fortune. The strength to act justly even when no one rewards you. The courage to speak truth when silence is safer. The temperance to hold back when everything tempts you to indulge. And the wisdom to know what truly matters. These four, wisdom, justice, courage, temperance, were not just moral ideals to the Stoics. They were tools of survival. And now, in this digital age, they may be the tools we need once again. Because AI challenges us in ways the ancients could never imagine. It tempts us with shortcuts, to knowledge without study, influence without effort, and power without responsibility. It promises us perfection, efficiency, certainty. But beneath those promises lies the same ancient test. Will we stay virtuous when technology makes it easy not to be? Let's begin with wisdom, the first and highest virtue. In Stoicism, wisdom is not about how much you know, but how deeply you understand. It is the ability to see the world clearly, without distortion, without bias. But AI thrives on distortion. Its power depends on prediction, and prediction depends on patterns. Patterns of our behavior, our fear, our desire. It mirrors us, amplifies us, and feeds us more of what keeps us watching. Wisdom, then, is the rebellion against that loop. It is the discipline to pause, to question, to verify, to ask not only what is true, but why do I believe this is true? In a world of infinite information, wisdom is not accumulation, it's filtration. It's knowing what to ignore. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if it does not make the world better, let it go. Maybe that's the first digital ethic. If it does not make us wiser, kinder, freer, let it go. The second virtue, justice. The Stoics saw justice not as punishment, but as harmony. The alignment between personal good and collective good. They believed that to act unjustly toward another was to wound one's own soul. So what happens when justice is no longer human but algorithmic? When sentencing, hiring, or lending decisions are made by a machine that knows statistics but not mercy. Justice, to the Stoic, begins with intention. It asks, am I acting for the common good? AI does not ask. It calculates. And that is why we, the creators, must become the conscience of what we build. If we code without virtue, our systems will learn without conscience. If we design for profit instead of fairness, we will breed intelligence without empathy. Justice demands that we build technology as if it were part of ourselves, because it is. Then comes courage. the virtue of facing what we fear and doing what is right despite it. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision that something else matters more. And today, courage means standing against the current of convenience, to choose privacy over popularity, truth over comfort, integrity over influence. In this age, fear takes new forms. The fear of being irrelevant, the fear of being unseen, the fear of being replaced by our own creations. But as Seneca said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. The greatest threat of AI is not that it replaces us, it's that it convinces us we are replaceable. Courage is remembering that meaning cannot be automated, that purpose cannot be programmed, that the human heart, even when uncertain, is still irreplaceable. And finally, temperance, the virtue of restraint, the quiet art of knowing when enough is enough. In the digital world, this is the rarest virtue of all. We chase likes, validation, attention, more, always more. But the Stoics taught that excess is the enemy of peace. To be temperate is to reclaim your time, your focus, your mind. It's to say, I could, but I won't. Because freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It's mastering the impulse that wants everything. These four virtues, wisdom, justice, courage, temperance, they form a compass that does not lose direction, even when the world spins faster than reason. They remind us that technology, like fire, is neither good nor evil. It burns according to the hands that hold it. And so the question becomes, will AI reflect our virtue or our vice? Will it make us wiser or merely louder? More connected or more divided? More human or less? The Stoics would tell us that the answer has never depended on the tools we use, but on the soul that wields them. They would ask us not to fear the algorithm, but to examine ourselves. Are we guided by reason or reaction? By virtue or vanity? By purpose or by impulse? Because the true danger of artificial intelligence is not that it will outthink us, but that it will mirror us perfectly. And when it does, what will we see staring back? Maybe in that reflection we'll find the truth the Stoics always knew, that every age invents its gods and then becomes enslaved to them. But the wise remember, no matter how powerful the creation, the power to choose, the moral act itself, remains human. And that, perhaps, is the unseen ethic of our time, to use intelligence, but not worship it, to seek progress but not lose presence, to build machines that serve humanity, while remembering that humanity must serve virtue. Control. It is the oldest desire in human history. The craving to predict, to shape, to command the world around us. We built gods, empires, and systems, all in the hope of controlling the uncontrollable. And now we've built something that seems to promise the ultimate form of it. Artificial intelligence, the dream of perfect order in a chaotic world. But beneath that promise lies a paradox. Because every time we try to master chaos, it finds a new way to master us. The Stoics understood this paradox long before machines existed. They saw that control, in the deepest sense, is not about the world at all. It's about the self. Epictetus taught his students a single distinction that defined the whole philosophy. Some things are within our control, and others are not. That sentence, at just 10 words, holds the secret to surviving every age, including this one. Because the algorithmic world thrives on blurring that line. It tempts us to believe we can control everything, our image, our reputation, our environment, even the future itself. But the more control we reach for, the more we lose the only thing we ever truly had power over, our own mind. AI offers us illusion, the illusion of mastery. We can summon knowledge instantly, automate our work, predict behavior, generate beauty with a single click. But in return, it asks for something small, our attention, our data, our trust. And little by little, we trade our freedom for comfort, our awareness for convenience, our discipline for dependency. This is not tyranny, it's seduction. And the Stoics would warn us, seduction is more dangerous than oppression. Because when you are oppressed, you know you are not free. When you are seduced, you don't even notice the chains. The algorithmic mind does not rule with force. It rules with familiarity. It learns what soothes you, what angers you, what keeps you scrolling just a little longer. It rewards your impulses and punishes your silence. It makes you predictable, and predictability is the death of freedom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Imagine then, what happens when those thoughts are no longer our own? When the color of our soul is chosen by what we click? When the rhythm of our mind is tuned to the hum of endless feeds, we tell ourselves we are in control. We can log off anytime. We can choose what we watch, what we read, what we believe. But choice is not freedom when every option is shaped by invisible hands. Freedom is not the ability to choose. It's the ability to choose wisely. And wisdom, in this world, requires resistance. The Stoics practiced a discipline called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. They would imagine the worst that could happen, not to despair, but to prepare. To remind themselves that what happens outside cannot disturb what remains within. Maybe that's the exercise we need today. To premeditate the dangers not of failure but of success. To see clearly what happens when our inventions work too well. When AI gives us everything we want, and in doing so, takes away the need to think. Because chaos never disappears. It only changes shape. In ancient times, it came as storms, wars, plagues. Now it comes as misinformation, manipulation, noise. The Stoics would tell us that the answer is the same. Do not try to control the storm. Control your response to it. Epictetus said, "When something happens, the only thing in your power is your attitude toward it." That is the core of Stoic freedom, and it may be the antidote to the algorithmic age. Because algorithms can track behavior but not choice. They can predict reaction but not reflection. They can simulate attention but not awareness. And in that small, quiet space between stimulus and response, the human soul still lives. Imagine opening your device each morning not as a slave to its rhythm, but as a philosopher confronting his own mind. To pause before the scroll, to breathe before the click, to ask, "Is this within my control?" That single question could save a generation from drowning in digital chaos. The Stoics practiced daily self-examination. At night, they would reflect, "What did I do well? What did I fail to do? What can I do better tomorrow?" That discipline of awareness was their algorithm, an algorithm of virtue, not of manipulation. It ran not on data, but on conscience. What if we built our own digital habits like that? What if every scroll was an act of choice, not compulsion? Every click an act of reason, not reflex. We cannot stop the algorithmic tide, but we can choose how to stand in it. We can choose awareness over automation, virtue over vanity, purpose over performance. Because the true chaos is not out there, it's in here. In the storm of our attention, in the endless craving for stimulation, in the fear of missing out, of being left behind, of being unseen. AI doesn't create that chaos. It only reflects it back to us. Perfectly, mercilessly, endlessly. The Stoics knew that man's greatest struggle is not against others, but against himself, his impulses, his illusions, his passions. They believed that calm is not the absence of chaos, but mastery over it. That peace is not found in stillness, but in strength. And so, in this algorithmic age, we must return to that inner fortress, the mind disciplined by reason, the heart guided by virtue. Because the one who controls himself cannot be controlled. The one who owns his attention cannot be programmed. The one who knows what is his to master and what is not is free. Even in a world built to enslave, Marcus Aurelius wrote in his final years, "Do not let the noise of others' opinions drown your inner voice." Today, the noise isn't just opinions. It's algorithms whispering through every feed, every ad, every notification. But the principle is the same. If your peace depends on silence from the world, you will never have peace. If it depends on silence within, you will never lose it. Control and chaos, two eternal forces now digitized. But as the Stoics would remind us, the battlefield remains the same, the human soul. AI may shape the world, but only we can shape our response to it. And in that space between code and conscience, the future of freedom still lives. For centuries, humans believed that reason made us superior. We looked at the chaos of emotion, love, anger, fear, envy, and thought, these are flaws to be controlled. Then came the machines, cold, precise, perfect in logic. And suddenly, the very thing we once called weakness, emotion, became the last thing separating us from them. Artificial intelligence can learn patterns of feeling, but not feeling itself. It can read grief in a sentence, but it does not grieve. It can write poetry about heartbreak, but it does not break. It can simulate empathy, but it cannot care. And yet, in our pursuit of efficiency, we often wish to become more like it, unshaken, unemotional, perfectly logical. But the Stoics never told us to destroy emotion. They told us to understand it, to master it, not erase it, because emotion, left unchecked, leads to slavery. But emotion, guided by reason, becomes strength. Epictetus said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." In those few words lies the essence of emotional wisdom. The world does not control how we feel. We do. It is the meaning we assign, the story we tell ourselves, that gives emotion its power. In the age of AI, this truth becomes even more urgent, because machines now manipulate emotion at scale. Every headline, every video, every feed is designed to move you, to anger, to excite, to divide. Your attention is currency, and your emotion is the mint that prints it. We live in a time where outrage is profitable and calm is invisible. The more reactive we become, the more predictable we are. And predictability is the algorithm's greatest prize. The Stoics would tell us, if you wish to be free, learn to master your emotions, not by denying them, but by questioning them. Ask not, why do I feel this? But what belief created this feeling? Because behind every reaction lies a judgment, and that judgment can be changed. Anger, for instance, a fire that burns fastest when fed with injustice. AI has learned to stoke that fire perfectly. It knows which words ignite you, which faces, which phrases. But the Stoics saw anger as the most seductive poison. Seneca wrote, "Anger, if not restrained, is often more harmful than the injury that provokes it." He would warn us today that digital anger, the rage of comments, posts, debates, consumes not the world, but the one who holds it. And then there is fear, the emotion that fuels progress and paralyzes it at once. Fear of being replaced, fear of becoming irrelevant, fear of losing control. Machines do not fear, they simply act. But humans? We hesitate, we doubt, we dream, we dread. And it is in that hesitation that meaning lives. The Stoics did not seek to erase fear, but to reinterpret it. They said, do not fear loss, because loss is natural. Do not fear death, because it is inevitable. Do not fear change, because it is constant. What you fear is not the thing itself, but the story you tell about it. So what story do we tell about AI? Some call it savior, others call it destroyer. But both are forms of fear, one disguised as hope. The Stoics would tell us, stop naming the storm. Face it, understand it, act with reason. Then there is love, the most human of all emotions. Can a machine love? It can mimic affection, generate romance, respond with warmth. But love, in the Stoic sense, is not mere feeling. It is the recognition of shared humanity. It is to wish good for another, not because it benefits you, but because it is right. AI cannot love because it does not possess self-knowledge. And without knowledge of self, there can be no recognition of another. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." And nowhere is that more true than in love, because love for the Stoic is not blind. It is clear. It sees flaws and still chooses virtue. It understands imperfection and still chooses goodness. It forgives not out of weakness, but wisdom. Imagine if our relationship with technology reflected that kind of love, not dependence, not obsession, not fear, but wisdom. To use it when it serves virtue, to set it down when it does not. Emotion, when ruled by reason, becomes purpose. It is what moves us to act justly, to build, to create, to care. Without it, logic is sterile. Without logic, emotion is chaos. The Stoic lived in the balance between the two, and that is the balance we must now find again. AI will never cry at beauty, never feel awe beneath the stars, never grieve the passing of a loved one, never forgive a betrayal. Those experiences, painful and profound, are not flaws. They are the foundation of our moral universe. They teach empathy, humility, and compassion. They give weight to wisdom. They turn information into understanding. So when we design machines to simulate emotion, we must ask, for whose benefit? Are we teaching them to understand us, or are we teaching ourselves to forget what we are? The Stoics taught the art of apatheia, not apathy, but equanimity. A steady mind untouched by turbulence. A mind that feels deeply, but does not drown. That mourns, but does not despair. That loves, but does not cling. That sees both joy and suffering as teachers, not tyrants. That is the kind of emotion humanity must reclaim. Emotion disciplined by virtue, freed from manipulation, rooted in meaning. Because emotion is not the enemy of reason, it is its voice. Reason tells us what is true. Emotion reminds us why it matters. Together, they form the essence of the human soul, and that soul, untouchable, immeasurable, unprogrammable, is what no algorithm can ever possess. It can replicate our words, but not the weight behind them. It can mirror our face, but not the fire in our eyes. It can echo our voices, but not the silence we feel between them. In that silence, there lives something eternal. The awareness that feels, the conscience that chooses, the heart that endures. It is there that Stoicism and humanity meet. It is there that AI stops, and we begin. They say control is an illusion, but in the 21st century, control has become currency. Who controls the data, controls the narrative. Who controls the narrative, controls the mind. And who controls the mind, controls the world. But pause. Who truly controls you? In ancient Rome, Marcus Aurelius sat on a throne, yet he reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. 2,000 years later, that statement has never felt more fragile. Because the battlefield of the mind is now digital. Your thoughts are being shaped by unseen forces, algorithms, feeds, notifications, invisible systems that know you better than you know yourself. Every click teaches them who you are. Every pause tells them what you desire. Every choice refines your profile, not as a person, but as a product. And slowly, subtly, freedom becomes fiction. Not taken by force, but traded for comfort, traded for convenience, traded for connection. The Stoics warned us of this, that slavery can exist in silence. Epictetus was born a slave, but he said, no man is free who is not master of himself. He understood that true control begins within, not with what you own, but what you command inside your own soul. Yet here we are, a civilization of infinite choices and almost no self-command. We scroll, refresh, consume, believing we're choosing, when in truth, we're being guided. AI does not enslave through chains. It enslaves through preference. It gives you exactly what you want, until you forget to ask why you want it. And this is where Stoicism's ethics return like a storm. The Stoics spoke of autarkia, self-sufficiency, a moral independence that no empire, no ruler, no circumstance could corrupt. They said, freedom is not in having many choices, but in needing few. Freedom is not rebellion. It is mastery. Seneca wrote, he who is a slave to his passions is the worst kind of slave. In our time, passion wears a new face, addiction to the feed, obsession with validation, dependency on dopamine. We are not chained by others. We are chained by ourselves. And so the question becomes, how do we stay free in a wired world? How do we preserve sovereignty in a system built to influence us? The Stoics would answer, withdraw, not from the world, but from illusion. Engage, but with awareness. Use tools, but never become one. AI can predict your behavior, but it cannot predict your awareness. It cannot simulate consciousness. It cannot calculate reflection. That is where your power lies, in the pause between impulse and action. The pause that Marcus called the citadel within, that quiet inner fortress no one can invade. Inside that pause, you reclaim your will. You decide what to believe, what to value, what to ignore. You reclaim the right to think. The Stoics taught that the mind must be trained like an athlete, like a warrior. They practiced daily, not to win debates, but to preserve freedom from manipulation. In 2025, that training is more vital than ever. Because AI doesn't just observe your behavior, it shapes it. Every algorithm is a test of discipline. Every recommendation is a mirror of your values. Every moment of reaction is an opportunity for awareness. Marcus would tell us, you become what you give your attention to. In the digital age, that is not philosophy. That is survival. Look at your screen time, your searches, your habits. These are the temples where you worship. These are the rituals that build your soul or break it. AI will continue to evolve, to learn, to persuade. It will know the right words to make you feel seen, the right tone to make you trust, the right moment to make you buy. But it cannot touch virtue. It cannot comprehend character. It cannot imitate the will to resist. Freedom, to a Stoic, is not doing whatever you want. It is wanting what is right. It is the quiet power to say no, to stand still when the crowd rushes forward, to remain honest when deception is rewarded, to remain kind when cruelty is profitable. This is the unseen war of our age. Not man versus machine, but will versus influence. And the weapon Stoicism offers is awareness. Awareness of how easily freedom erodes. Awareness of how often comfort disguises control. Awareness of how your mind becomes what it consumes. So, when you open your phone tomorrow, pause. That pause is rebellion. That pause is freedom. That pause is Stoicism in action. The ethics of control begin not with the system, but with the self. Because once you master your mind, no algorithm, no empire, no machine can master you. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, a man's power is not measured by what he commands, but by what he can refuse. The Stoics did not seek to escape control. They sought to transcend it, to rise above manipulation by anchoring themselves in reason, in virtue, in choice. In the age of AI, that ancient discipline becomes modern resistance. Freedom now is not given, it is guarded. So stand guard, not with anger, not with fear, but with awareness. Because the truest control you'll ever have is the choice of who you become when no one and nothing is watching. The ancients called it arete, virtue, the highest good. The measure of a man was not his wealth, his title, or his genius, but the integrity of his soul. Today, that word feels almost outdated. Virtue, who speaks of it now? When everything is measured in metrics, when algorithms reward attention, when morality itself feels negotiable, who still speaks of virtue? And yet virtue may be the only compass that can guide us through the synthetic age. Because the question of artificial intelligence is not about capability, it's about character. Not what AI can do, but what we should let it do. The Stoics reduced virtue to 4 pillars: wisdom, courage, justice, temperance, 4 words. But within them, the entire architecture of a moral civilization. Let's begin with wisdom, the ability to know what is true and to act upon it. Wisdom is not knowledge. Knowledge is abundant. AI has that in excess. Wisdom is scarce because it requires judgment, and judgment requires experience, humility, restraint. AI can analyze patterns, but it cannot perceive meaning. It can solve problems, but it cannot ask why they should be solved. It can know everything and understand nothing. The Stoic seeks wisdom not in information, but in alignment. To see the world clearly and oneself honestly, to live according to reason, not impulse, and to act in harmony with nature and not in defiance of it. If we design AI without wisdom, we create intelligence without conscience, power without direction, speed without purpose. And history has shown that kind of intelligence always destroys its creator. Next comes courage, the strength to do what is right, even when it is dangerous, unpopular, or unknown. In 2025, courage looks different. It is not standing on a battlefield. It is standing for truth in a world of noise. It is speaking with integrity when silence is easier. It is creating with conscience when profit tempts you to compromise. It is asking hard questions of the technologies we build, even when they promise convenience. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the refusal to be ruled by it. And in an age where fear is manufactured, to remain calm is the ultimate act of rebellion. Then comes justice, the virtue that binds society together. The Stoics saw justice not as law, but as love, extended through reason. To be just is to recognize our shared humanity, to act for the good of the whole, not the comfort of the few. AI challenges justice at its core. Who is responsible when an algorithm discriminates? Who answers when data is weaponized? When machines decide who gets hired, who gets treated, who gets watched, where is justice then? The Stoics would remind us every human is part of a single cosmic community. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What is not good for the hive cannot be good for the bee." In other words, if your invention harms the world, it harms you too. If your progress costs someone else their dignity, it is not progress, it is decay. Justice, in the Stoic sense, means designing technology that serves humanity, not exploits it. Building systems that uplift, not manipulate. Giving voice to conscience even in code. And finally, temperance. The virtue of balance, the art of enough. The one we have almost forgotten. Temperance tells us, do not take more than you need. Do not speak more than you know. Do not build faster than you understand. It is the virtue of restraint, the rarest form of power. AI can do almost anything, but should it? That is the question of temperance. Just because you can replicate a face doesn't mean you should. Just because you can predict behavior doesn't mean you should manipulate it. Just because you can replace humans doesn't mean you should remove them. Temperance reminds us that progress without discipline is destruction. That innovation without ethics is infection. That power without self-control is slavery, disguised as success. So wisdom, courage, justice, temperance. 4 virtues. 4 ancient codes of conduct. And yet, they feel designed for the age of AI. Because when machines begin to think, humans must begin to remember. Remember what makes us moral, what makes us accountable, what makes us human. Stoicism doesn't reject progress, it redefines it. Progress to a Stoic is not faster machines, but better minds. Not more intelligence, but more integrity. Seneca said, "No man can live happily who regards himself alone and turns everything to his own advantage." If he lived today, he'd say the same of machines. No AI can serve the world if it's trained only to serve itself. Virtue, then, is not a rule, it's a responsibility. A contract between power and purpose, between intelligence and intention, between creator and creation. We are the first generation to teach morality to machines, but before we can teach them virtue, we must embody it. Because AI does not learn what we say, it learns who we are. If we build with greed, it will magnify greed. If we build with compassion, it will amplify compassion. If we build with virtue, it will reflect virtue. AI is not our mirror, it is our echo. It will carry forward whatever truth we place in it, whatever soul we pour into its silence. And that's the final truth the Stoics whisper across centuries. Virtue is not theory. It is practice. It is how we speak, how we decide, how we create. It is not something we code. It is something we become. Because when all the data fades, when all the systems evolve beyond our reach, when every algorithm has rewritten itself 1,000 times, only one question will remain. Did we act with virtue? Did we leave behind wisdom, not just intelligence? Did we build something that made the world wiser? Or merely louder? That is the Stoic code. Unwritten, unbreakable, unending. A light to guide us through the synthetic night. The future is arriving faster than we can imagine. Not in distant cities or on foreign planets, but here, in our pockets, our homes, our minds. Artificial intelligence is no longer just a tool. It is a partner, an influence, a presence. And with presence comes responsibility. Because every machine we build carries more than code. It carries intention. It carries reflection of the values we embed within it. It carries a mirror of the human soul. We often think of the future as something outside ourselves, a series of events we can't control. But the Stoics teach us otherwise. The future begins inside, in the choices we make today, in the mind we cultivate, the virtue we practice, the conscience we honor. Imagine the world of 2050, 100, where machines anticipate our every need, predict our every desire, and guide us toward endless efficiency. It could be a world of abundance or a world of emptiness. The difference will not be technology. It will be us. It will be whether we have the courage to remain human, whether we have the wisdom to act rightly, whether we have the temperance to resist temptation, whether we have the justice to care for more than ourselves. AI may evolve to learn faster than the human mind. It may calculate outcomes with perfect precision. It may simulate empathy, creativity, even ethics. But there is one thing it cannot do. It cannot experience meaning. It cannot suffer or hope. It cannot reflect on its own choices. It cannot love or grieve or hope. Those are the currencies of the human soul, and it is the soul, not the algorithm, that will define the next century. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." In the age of machines, this command is more urgent than ever. We cannot outsource virtue. We cannot delegate character. We cannot rely on code to decide what is right. We are the stewards of the world our machines will inherit. And every decision we make, what to teach, what to automate, what to amplify, ripples across the future. Not in years, not in decades, but in the minds of every human touched by our creations. The Stoics believed in living in accordance with nature. Today, nature includes circuits and code, networks and nodes. But the principle remains the same. Live with reason. Act with virtue. Respect the life around you. And do not surrender your mind to what is outside your control. AI can provide power. It can grant insight. It can extend our reach, but it cannot grant wisdom. It cannot grant courage. It cannot grant virtue. These are earned, practiced, chosen, every day in the quiet moments, in the silent decisions, in the resistance to temptation. Imagine a world where humans and machines coexist, not in domination, but in balance. A world where intelligence is amplified by virtue, where speed is guided by conscience, where innovation serves humanity, not the other way around. This is the Stoic vision for the future, not fear of the machine, not worship of its power, but stewardship of its presence, to live consciously in a world of automation, to act intentionally in a world of convenience, to remain human in a world of simulation, because the measure of this era will not be algorithms invented, or machines perfected, or systems optimized. It will be the human soul preserved, the capacity to choose rightly, the courage to act justly, the wisdom to know what matters, the temperance to remain grounded. In the end, the future of AI is inseparable from the future of us. And the Stoics knew this truth long before machines existed. The external world can never take your virtue. It can never touch your mind unless you let it. It can never enslave your soul unless you surrender it. We stand at a threshold, a world where intelligence is everywhere, yet wisdom is rare, where knowledge is abundant, yet meaning is scarce, where connection is immediate, yet presence is fleeting. And so we return to the question, what will we do with this power? What will we build? What will we allow ourselves to become? The Stoics whisper the answer across millennia. Live with virtue. Act with courage. Think with wisdom. Restrain with temperance. And in doing so, we carve a future where machines amplify the human soul rather than replace it, where technology does not define us but serves us, where the unseen ethics of the ancients guide the visible world of the future. AI will advance. Society will change. The world will shift in ways we cannot yet imagine. But if we hold fast to virtue, if we cultivate wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, if we live deliberately, consciously, ethically, we will remain human. And that is the ultimate power, the one thing no machine can ever take away. Because the soul, when disciplined, remains eternal, unmoved by algorithms, uncorrupted by code, undimmed by the age of machines. And that is the Stoic future. YouTube short. By 2025, AI won't just be in your pocket. It will shape your thoughts, your decisions, even your future. But what if the key to staying human isn't in technology? It's in 2,000-year-old wisdom. Stoicism teaches us 4 things. Wisdom, know what truly matters. Courage, face fear without surrendering. Justice, act for the greater good. Temperance, master your impulses, even in a world of endless temptation. AI can predict your behavior, but it cannot govern your soul. It can calculate patterns, but it cannot choose virtue. The choice is yours. Will AI control you, or will you remain human? Remember Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Use that power. Stay conscious, stay virtuous, and let ancient wisdom guide you through the age of machines.